I have a question, Mark. What made you get into real estate 41 years ago?
My mother. I come from two grandfathers that are in real estate, one here and then one back in Connecticut. When I took a year off between my freshman and sophomore year in college and worked for my uncles here, and I realized that I loved the business. And when I went back to college, I had saved a bunch of money while I had taken that year off here. I told my mother I want to buy a piece of real estate. And she said, okay, I know exactly where it's going to be. I know exactly what you're going to do. And she said, do you have the money? I'm like, yeah, here's my savings account. She's like, okay. And I said, Mom, what's your idea? She said, show it to your dad. And he became my first investor. And he totally took advantage of me on the deal, okay? Because he said, meet me at this bank. President of the bank knew my dad on a first name basis. My dad went and got coffee. But before we walked in, he said, what are you giving me for this deal? And I said, I don't know, 20%. He goes, I want 60. I'm like, I'm gonna do all the work, put up all the money, take all the risk, and you want 60? I said, I'll give you 40. He goes, all right, deal. We shook on it. We go in, and I go and sit with this bank president. And my dad didn't come in. He went and got coffee. He said, you need a loan. I said, I do. 5 minutes later, he said, okay, I'll loan you the money. And then I said, why are you being so nice to me? And he said, you don't know this? We bought your grandfather's bank. You guys are treated with, specialty. I came out and I'm like,
Nice.
Dad, you really snookered me.